This segment will consist of a brief overview of some of the major Enlightenment thinkers and their ideas and how these ideas shape the modern world, specifically the yet-to-be-imagined United States. In the same era that witnessed the evolution of science in opposition to the Church, we concurrently observed numerous religious wars in Europe. Educated individuals, known as philosophes, began to believe that the root causes of these issues were in what is called the Ancien Régime, or Old Order, consisting of the medieval social order of the three estates. Specifically, it was the monarchy and particularly the clergy who were seen as the primary sources of societal problems. These philosophes argued that the teachings from religious and inconsistent political leaders did not represent the truth. Consequently, they turned to reason as the foundation of truth. This shift led to the application of scientific principles in various fields, including politics, signaling the movement towards reason as the basis for truth. Among the notable figures in this movement were John Locke, who advocated for popular sovereignty over divine right, and Isaac Newton, who placed scientific authority above religious authority. Additionally, Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson, both founding fathers of the United States, played significant roles in this intellectual shift. They were adherents of deism, a belief system acknowledging a divine creator who, like a watchmaker, set the universe in motion but does not intervene in its operations. Deists believed in a God who established the laws of nature and allowed them to operate without divine interference, enabling humans to discern truth through observation of these unchanging laws. Deism also posited that God's concern for human conduct would only manifest in the afterlife, with rewards or punishments based on one's earthly actions. This belief influenced Thomas Jefferson's views on slavery, as evidenced in his statement, "I tremble for my country when I consider that God is just." Turning to the works of John Locke, we will first briefly consider A Letter Concerning Toleration, which argues against government interference in religious beliefs. Locke contended that while religion might be seen as superstitious, people should be free to follow their chosen faiths without state intervention. This concept laid the groundwork for religious toleration and the separation of church and state, a fundamental principle in American ideology. John Locke's An Essay Concerning Human Understanding, 1698, reflects the core objectives of the Enlightenment project. This text, along with other Enlightenment philosophies, aimed to foster an enlightened civilization through advances in science, technology, and education. This essay introduced the concept of the mind as a tabula rasa, or blank slate, arguing that knowledge is derived from experience rather than innate ideas. This concept was in direct conflict with the Christian idea that humans are born with an indelible stain of original sin that kept society from advancing without divine intervention. Locke's empiricist view laid the groundwork for a scientific approach to understanding the world, emphasizing observation and experience over tradition and dogma. It encouraged the belief that human beings could systematically understand and manipulate their environment through the scientific method, leading to advancements in technology and science. Education was central to the Enlightenment project. If, as Locke proposed, humans started as blank slates who became essentially what was written on them, it was then important to make sure that what was written there would lead to enlightenment. Public education was seen as the way of achieving this. By promoting education, they aimed to empower individuals with the tools of reason and critical thinking, enabling them to contribute to the advancement of society. This emphasis on education led to the establishment of schools and universities, wider literacy, and the spread of knowledge through books and pamphlets. We will note that these proposals for making progress emphasize the efforts of humans without intervention by God. The Enlightenment was an anti-clerical movement seeking to explain the world without reliance on religion. This intellectual transition saw the foundation of truth shift from religion to science, the basis of truth from faith to reason, and the language of truth from the Bible to mathematics. This was not an abrupt change, but a gradual evolution. American society, for instance, initially deeply religious, gradually became less so, reflecting this shift. Primary school children are commonly taught that the Pilgrims came to America seeking religious freedom. In reality, they were not influenced by Enlightenment thinking. It's true they sought religious freedom, but this desire was limited to their own beliefs, not extending to tolerance of others. There are many recorded instances of extreme persecution of heretics, such as Catholics or Quakers in Congregationalist New England. Religious tolerance in the American colonies was more a result of parliamentary decrees than an inherent acceptance of religious diversity. This historical irony mirrors some aspects of contemporary society, where the pursuit of personal freedoms can sometimes coexist with a lack of tolerance for differing viewpoints. The Enlightenment project became the framework for the society that shaped the United States, and which the United States later contributed to. The framework can be stated in what is referred to as the modern or Enlightenment meta-narrative. A meta-narrative is the story we tell ourselves about ourselves, becoming the story we live. The modern meta-narrative was that through science, technology, and reason, humans could create a world characterized by liberation and enlightenment, and it could do so without God. Please proceed to answer the questions in the assignment on Canvas. If you have any questions, you can post them in the open forum discussion or contact the professor using Canvas email.